Welcome to That Time I Got Arrested. And now, your host, B. Casper.
Hi. 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 Hello. Just a little test. All right. So, it's like I'll be very excited to see how you, Danny, put this all together. So, it's taken me a long time to get here. It has taken me a very, very long time to get here. And what I mean to say is that this setup has been sitting in my kitchen for another 24 hours, and I have been procrastinating once again until the very last minute, until I am forced to sit down and word vomit all over you. I'm having a hard time, you guys. I am having a really hard time. And this has been a struggle, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. And maybe you're sick of hearing me say that, because I feel like there is somewhat of a very small consensus of people that seem to feel like I have some kind of answer to something, to a question that I'm not aware of. And I don't know anything. I don't even know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. And I keep saying that. And I love you so much. I love you so much. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you, every single person that's listening right now. I'm so grateful. And I shouldn't take that for granted by, disrespecting my life, disrespecting myself, by not really honoring the time that you're giving me by sitting here and listening for as long as you have, or for just this moment right now. It's sacred. This is sacred, what we're doing. And I am aware of that. And I have been really struggling lately, and I've kind of went into it a little bit the last time, but let me just tell you, it got worse. It can always get worse. Don't ever forget that. It can always get worse. It was just everything. It was like Crystalia and Base Nectar and the Wayfair scandal and everything else. And then it was me. And it's like, I can't fix anything. I don't feel like I can change anything. I don't know what I even can do other than live with the pain and trauma of the fact that even my own mother sex trafficked me a little bit, So it's just a part of life. I miss this boy so much. I really fell so deeply for someone I didn't know very well. And at the end of the day, I have to really have some perspective on that, in the sense that not everyone is going to be able to come into my life and see all of this, and a lot of what I am comprised of as a human being is mental illness. So it's not like a lot of people can come into that and just be so loving and forgiving, because it takes a lot of patience and acceptance and forgiveness. And oh man, I'm sad though. I'm sad, but I was given a gift recently. I was saved. I mean, to put it quite frankly, I was saved by someone I've never met. Someone who listens to the podcast. Someone who found me on a fucking fish fan page website a year ago. Found this podcast, found me on the internet, reached out to me, said beautiful things to me, talked to me for over a year. We've never met. I'm not going to say his name. We've never met though, but he saved my life. He saved my fucking life. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for this person. And I have been smoking a ridiculous amount of DMT over the last couple of days. So I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine now, but I came really close to killing myself. I say that so casually, as if it were really like ain't no thing. I came really close to killing myself. I bought 100 Xanax and I counted them out, and I like lined them up, and I got some heroin, and I was going to mix them together and drink and try and stop my heart. And that was my plan. And if that didn't work, then I was going to like literally shoot myself in the head with a gun. So that's what I've been up to. Still making a podcast in between all of that, which I think is very special and cool for all of us involved. I quit Instagram for like maybe like a good 2 weeks, like didn't post for a while, just like had it. Then I just like deleted it. I went mental. I went like cuckoo bananas over this boy, it's not about him, and that's the thing. It's never about them. I didn't jump off a building because my boyfriend was mean to me. It was like I jumped off a building because I don't have a solid foundation on how to love myself or accept when it's time for relationships to end and change and move on. So I react in ways that are dangerous and frightening and unhealthy and certainly unwise, to say the least, because what I have learned, it's so funny. DMT is so funny because it's like you're exposed to every imaginable secret inner working understanding of the entire experience of existence in this universe and what reality and life is, and then you come back and it's just like waking up from a dream. It's like you can just barely remember. It's like it's almost like it didn't even happen, but you just have all these like basic flashes. It's like you remember Tom Selleck's mustache, or you remember like a sign that you saw when you were 10 years old on a road trip with your family. It's like those are the things that you come back with from a dream. And the things that I've come back with from like the gram of DMT that I've just smoked over the last 72 hours is that, life is a gift. Life is a gift. Being a woman, it is a sacred gift. The fact that we can like bring life into this world is a sacred gift. And this isn't some like anti-abortion like rant. It's not like that. I think women should have abortions, but I also think that women are given the sacred gift of being life bearers, of being the deciders of who does and doesn't come into this world, and have this experience, this gift of an experience, and how important it is to protect children, and how that is really our sacred duty in this like human experiences. We have to protect children. In a weird way, it is us protecting ourselves at the same time. Maybe that's why it all hits me so much. It's because it's like I wasn't protected when I was a kid, and I know how deeply and how damaging that will affect you for the rest of your life. And I have every advantage you could possibly imagine. I'm white passing. I come from money. I have friends. I have people who love me. I'm like not terribly unfortunate looking. It's like I have so many things that are, I can read, I can write, I can walk. The fact that I can walk is amazing. The fact that I can see and hear and think and talk and sing and dance and do all of these things, it's so amazing. It's such a gift. Everything is a gift. But when I was a kid, I was treated like a doll, like a toy, like an object, like something that I wasn't treated like a gift when I was 5 years old and I was like raped by a stranger. And I definitely wasn't treated like a gift when I was, in my 20s and I was in prison. And, I definitely haven't been treated like a gift by any of the men that I've chosen to have like long, serious relationships with. So it's like, no wonder I don't treat myself like that, and I have to like learn that. I have to unlearn all of the pain and damage that's been caused by all of that stuff, and then relearn how to love myself and treat myself like a gift. So it's like I have to relearn how to heal, and fuck, dude. It's like I thought I figured some shit out when I jumped off that building. I really did. I wouldn't have totally started this podcast if I wasn't like, oh, it's okay. I've got some of this down. And there's this really sweet human being who listens to the show, and him and I text like regularly, and I don't think he's trying to fuck me, which is like really cool because that's not always the case. And he's always just like checking in and saying things like are you okay? Like, I love you. He tells me that I matter, that like I've helped him, and like that is like, I don't know this person. He lives in Arkansas. Like, shout out my buddy in Arkansas. What's up, bro? I miss you. I love you. But it just kind of like, I don't know how to reconcile the two pieces of myself. The piece of myself that wants to give in to the destruction and the pain and all of the fucked up shit that makes me a fucked up person, because I'm not that cool, you know? Maybe from a distance, maybe on Instagram, maybe, you know, even if you like know me a little bit, you're like, oh, she's great. Or maybe not, you know, like you can always tell how people are interpreting you. And that's what's really funny too, is like some people think I'm a badass, or like I got it all figured out, or like I've got all this confidence, or like I'm this like psycho nympho, like crazy, wild, fun, like free loving, you know, chick. Sorry, I gotta adjust this mic. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man, I wish Dean was here. And it's like that's what you see from far away. And I get that, and I perpetuate that because that's what the internet has like taught us to do. And for as authentic as I'm always trying to be, and for as much as I am hoping to share, and for as deeply as I'm trying to connect with anyone who is out there and down to receive those kinds of downloads, you know, that doesn't mean that you know me. You don't know me. You don't know how bad I am. How bad I really am, how bad of a person I am, the bad things that I do, the lies that I tell, the people that I hurt. I don't really try to hurt anyone, but that doesn't mean that I don't. I really don't want to hurt anyone ever. But that doesn't mean that I don't. And when you hurt other people, you hurt yourself. So it's like I hurt myself too. And I hurt other people. And then I hurt myself by hurting other people. And then I just hurt all the time. And aren't we just sick of that already? Like, who's over it? Like, show of hands, please. Who's over all this shit? Anyone? Just me? No, I'm just kidding. All of us? Right. That's what I thought. Okay. It's like, if you think I'm a cool person, ask any of my ex-boyfriends how they feel about me. And they'll all be like, that is the craziest fucking awful bitch I've ever met in my entire life. I can have a lineup of men swear on their life that that's true. But like, so should I kill myself? I don't know. Like, should I change? I don't know. Should they change? Probably. And then like, where do I go from here? You know? Like, what am I even doing? I've told you guys all the stories of everything that happened, and like, sure, I'll keep going. You know, it's like it's only 2017 in this timeline. In this podcast, we're still 3 years ago. It's like we don't even know about this shit now. Back then, when I started comedy a year to the day that I jumped. I think I just told you that last time. And my first open mic was at this place called the Gallery Cabaret. I swear, no one's going to believe me. No one will ever believe me when I say this, but this is so true. I swear that I didn't fully realize that it had been like the 1 year to the day. I didn't realize until after the fact. And I think it was because someone else reminded me. And it was like a friend of mine who was like, hey, you jumped off a building a year ago. I love you. And I was like, oh, whoa, I just did my first open mic. Like, cool. And here's how I got into comedy. You guys ready? It was a secret. This is a trade secret. You've been waiting this whole time to hear about this. And this is powerful, okay? I Googled it. I did. I Googled open mic near me comedy. And like the Gallery Cabaret came up and there was some stupid calendar online and it said that there was one that night from like 7 to 9. And I was like, all right, it's like 8:30. I bet I could just like go like watch and then I will, and then I'll just have a better idea of what it's like. You know, I was just really going to go and like observe and be like a little like secret squirrel. I was just going to Harriet the Spy that shit, you know, like take a notebook, like suss everyone out. I was just going to like, get the like playing field of the game. Like, and I went and I got there about 8:42 and I was watching the comics go and they were all terrible. They were all so bad. And I was laughing and I was sitting kind of near the front and I was laughing kind of loud because I was laughing at how bad everyone was. And I was just like, God, this is hilarious that this is comedy, that this is like that thing. There's so many people that have reached out to me, so many people that I've talked to over the last 3 years. Anytime I tell anyone that I do stand up as like a hobby, 9 times out of 10, their response is, oh, wow, I've always wanted to do that. And I'm just like, yeah, pussy. I'm just like, yeah, you're a wimp. Have you always wanted to do it? Why haven't you? Because I mean, it's you have no idea how fucking stupid it is. You know, it's like, it's all built up in your head. It's like you see shit on TV and you see these famous comedians and you think there's like this, like, I don't know what you think when you think that, but you think something that isn't what it actually is, which is a nearly empty bar with about 6 dudes and 4 of them have drinking problems, you know? And like one of them is a recovered alcoholic and then like the other one is like 40 and has been doing it for 10 years and doesn't have any friends. And like that is stand-up comedy. That's it. And so I was laughing and I was sitting there and I was just watching and I was just kind of just like so smug because I the whole time was obviously thinking like these idiot men who have no idea what they're talking about or what they're doing or what losers they sound like with the dick jokes and the lame dating, you know, comparisons and, you know, not real jokes. It was like clear that none of these people were writers. And I recognized that right away as someone who is a writer. I was like, oh, you guys aren't even writers. You're just like, you're just talking. Like you're literally just talking. You don't even know what you're doing. And I thought that was really interesting. And it just sort of demystified the entire process of what I perceived stand-up comedy to be before I started doing it. So it's a year to the day. I had just jumped. I could barely walk. It had been a couple of months between, you know, the January where I was like sleeping on the Blue Line and, you know, getting a nanny job and paying like $127 for a week of rents and moving into this like beautiful apartment with this random girl that I found on fucking Craigslist, and to July. And in between all of that time, I had just been working like a dog. I had no friends. I had no life. I spent all of my money at Whole Foods and on weed. And what I would do is I would get up every morning and I would make like my little powerhouse like smoothie with all of my potions and adaptogens and like, you know, all my shit. And I'd make some tea and I would do some Kundalini like breath work. And then I would catch a bus And if I wasn't when I was done puking, when I was done detoxing from all of the medical grade heroin, I was late, usually, still always late, maybe like less than an hour like before, but late to work every day. And just rushing. I was making that smoothie and I was taking a shower every day because my hair, was still kind of falling out or growing back in, or I don't know. There were so many insanely weird side effects in my body that I had to experience from detoxing from all of the antibiotics and all of the opiates and all of the different medications, and having such high volume of blood transfusions. Like, there was a lot of side effects that I had to deal with physically because of that. And, I'm not that good with time anyways. Let me just say that I've never been on time to anything ever in my whole life. I missed my own funeral. Haha. That is a joke, but it is true because I did die and come back. Haha. And did you know that I was also a month late, like to be born, that I was a month late, that some babies are born early. I was a month late. So, I've always been late. So I'd be late to work every day, and I would get off work and I would go to Whole Foods and I would buy a cookie and a croissant and a kombucha and usually some guacamole. And I would go home and I would do dabs and I would watch Vice News. Yeah. And this is like spring. Think like February to June of 2017. So Trump just became president, and I would spend every single weeknight coming home and watching Vice News. And feeling depressed about, everything, just the state of the world and existence. And my own existence, and I didn't know what I was doing or why I was here or what the purpose was. I was pretty mad that I was alive. That's how I felt. I just felt pretty salty about it. And it was hard to express that fully, and it still is sometimes, just because there are so many more people now. But back then, even, there were just people in my life. It's not like I had anyone who wanted to hang out with me. Nobody wanted to go like get dinner or like get our nails done. Like, I didn't have friends like that. But I did have friends who lived in other states, who knew me for a long time, who knew me from their childhood, who knew something about me, who knew me online, who knew me from college. And they would reach out to me periodically and just be like, I'm so glad you're alive. So many people would tell me that. And they tell me that now still. They tell me that they're so glad that I lived through it. My friend Jamie in Florida, this girl that I met in a yoga class, I think I've talked about her once before, and I think I've even told this story once before, but I'm going to tell you again because you probably don't even remember. But this girl, Jamie, Laser Jamie, what's up? She doesn't listen, it's fine. When I was in Florida, we went out to dinner and we drove around, and this is the girl who's, I don't know if I've even told this story either. I rode my bike to her house in the middle of the night, rode 17 miles like in the Everglades, like to her house in the middle of the night, and then like she drove me to Fort Lauderdale, and I like got on a plane. Anyways, she drove around in Miami and we went to dinner, and I was in a lot of pain still. I was really fresh out of the hospital. Like, my stitches were still in. That's how like fresh everything was. I couldn't stand for too long. I couldn't walk very well. I didn't have my wheelchair anymore, and I went from a wheelchair to like a walker to a cane to like actually just like walking. But then like when I could just walk, I kind of like pushed myself a little bit harder because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed by having to use those things, and for people to like look at someone so young and be like, oh, what the fuck happened to you? And like see the scar on my forehead and be like, yo, what the fuck happened to you? Because what am I going to say? I jumped off a building because I had a bad day. Anyways, she drove me around Miami, and she said this to my heart. She looked me in the eyes, and like I felt it in my heart. She said that if I had died, that she never would have gotten over it. And I was like, Jamie, that doesn't even make sense. Like, I haven't seen you in 4 years. And I'm like, we don't even talk. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even talk. And she said that, that I had an impact on her, that I had profoundly impacted her life enough that she felt like that we were family, that we were sisters, that even if we didn't talk, even if we didn't even have that much in common, that she loved me. And that if I wasn't here anymore, that she would be able to feel that she'd be able to feel that loss. And it was so hard for me to understand, because I was just like, I don't feel anything. I joke about being dead inside, but maybe the truth is that I feel too much. Maybe that's it, But anyways, she said that she'd never get over it. And I felt that. I felt that for a long time. I felt that so hard until maybe like a couple of days ago when this boy that I was like, oh, so madly, deeply, like truly in love with, even though I just met him on Tinder, just like loved every single thing about him. Can you tell I'm still sad? I still miss him. He doesn't listen to the podcast. He listened to a couple of episodes and then he was just like, you're a bad person and you manipulate people. And I was like, wait, what? There's more to it than that, of course. But we'll just leave that between him and I. And I don't even know. Yeah. So it was like, I felt that from Jamie. And I felt that like a weight, like a responsibility to her, to other people. And I feel that way now too, to like keep living, even if this existence is like suffering, the suffering is a gift because it teaches you how to love. It makes you grateful for everything you have. Blah, 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 blah. Have you ever heard that before? Has anyone ever told you that before? Has any religion ever come up with that? Because I'm pretty sure that I'm the first one. Don't fact check me, but I mean, like, don't. But I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. So I'm sitting at this open mic and I'm laughing obnoxiously. I have my mother's laugh. It's the only thing we have in common. I cackle like a witch. And this guy asked me if I wanted to go up, if I was here to watch or if I was a comic. He asked me if I was a comic. And in that moment, it was just like a split decision. It was very similar to jumping off a building because I just thought yes, immediately. I was like, yeah, no, I am. This is actually an answer. This is the answer to the question that I didn't know that I was being asked, is that, yeah. And then I was like, yeah. I'm like, I've never done this before though. And he was like, real nice about it, really nice about it. He was like, okay, well, just sign your name up here and you'll go last and that's it. And I was like, okay. And I put my name down and I went last. And so the mic that I actually went to, the bar that I went to, it doesn't exist anymore. It was called Gallery Cabaret and they shut it down because of the pandemic. And oh man, so sad actually that is no longer a thing because that was my first, never forget your first. That was my first. And it was a themed mic, which I didn't know was a thing because I didn't know anything about anything, especially about comedy. I thought these guys were bad. I thought I was good. I thought I was going to go up there and I was going to be like, and here's what being funny looks like, and I was the only girl there. And I went up and the theme of the mic was called Power Hour. And so what they would do is they would have a guy sit on stage and he would have a mic and he would drink. And as the show went on, he would get progressively drunker and like chime in on people's sets and kind of like heckle the comedians like from the stage. And you're supposed to have like a little tete-a-tete. And like if you're, good and smart, then it's, it can be funny and brilliant. And it's actually a very innovative idea of how to like do stand-up or like prepare yourself to do stand-up. However, I'm sitting there, a complete novice and a little bit of an asshole with a huge attitude problem. And I mean, like every comic ever to exist. And I was like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, this is an fucking idiot. I'm like, why is he here? I'm like, why is everyone accepting this? Like, why are they letting him talk to them like that? Like, why is this happening? I could not fucking figure it out for the life of me. Truly couldn't figure it out. And because I didn't know it was a theme, because nobody explained that to me. So when I went up on stage, I was just kind of like rude to him because I think that's my default setting, is I'm just like a huge bitch. And, I was raised in a family where everyone was talked down to their entire life. And so it's really easy for me to talk down to people without realizing it. And I have to be very careful about the way that I speak to someone, especially when I'm unhappy or irritated or angry, because that's when I am the most destructive and hurtful. And like, that sucks. It sucks to know that about myself. And I really, really want to get better about it, because I have ruined so many relationships because I've just said awful things to people. I've like gone way too far. And it's like, I don't even know I'm doing it when I'm doing it. It's just like, it's such a second nature to me that it has taken me literally my whole life to process that is something that I actively do and have to like be mindful of. So I went on stage and I was like, who is this fucking idiot, king of the castle? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Who's paying you? And then like someone from the crowd screams like, we are. And I was like, oh, I don't think I didn't get it. I didn't get it, So it's not like I started out on a good foot, And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll do comedy now. And I like looked at all of these like blank faces, and my mouth got really dry and my palms got really sweaty, and I got really nervous and my heart started to beat fast. And I was like, wow, this is the first time I felt anything. This is the first time I felt anything in a year. That was probably the first thing I noticed. It's the first time I felt anything in a year. And I said, I have Netflix. What? Like, this is hard. Which is a Legally Blonde reference, and actually like a killer first time joke for any comedian. But can I just tell you that no one laughed? I don't think any of the like 4 men that were left over in this empty dive bar caught that Legally Blonde reference, which was actually brilliant. But yeah, so they didn't laugh. No one laughed. Nobody laughed. No one laughed. No one laughed at me or for me or with me. And then I just went on to tell a story. I just told a story. So I just did what I was just making fun of everyone else for doing in my head. Because I didn't have any jokes. I didn't know what a joke was. I didn't know how to write a joke. I didn't even know how to be funny. I was just like, I am funny. I make people laugh all the time. All my friends tell me that I'm their funniest friend. So it's like, and they're like, oh, you're so funny. You're so funny. Oh my God, you're so funny. I love you. You're so funny. I hear that over and over again. So I'm just like, so I'm funny, so I can do stand up, right? No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Not how it works, darling. So I started to tell a story about the first time that I ever smoked pot. And the first time I ever smoked pot, it was like this girl and I in gym class, and we were faking cramps. I was faking cramps because I didn't have a period yet, but we both told our gym teacher that we had cramps because we did not want to run the mile. And I remember her name. Maybe I'll tell you. No, I should. Well, anyways, she said, guess what? And I was like, what? And she's like, I smoked pot last weekend. And my response was, did it hurt? Because I had believed all of the fucking propaganda that I had been taught, as a child, that drugs were bad and that pot was a gateway drug, and, that it was going to ruin your life and completely destroy everything about you. And she said, no, but it made me kind of hungry though. And I was like, okay. And then she went on to tell me that there was a national holiday for pot, and that if I was ever going to do it, that I should, do it on the holiday. And I was like so confused by that. As a 14-year-old, I was like, what do you mean there's a holiday for a drug? Like, that just blew my mind in a way where I was like, it can't be that bad if there's enough people who've come together and decided they love something so much that they made a holiday out of it. I was like, that's weird. And that was all it took. That was all it took for me to open my mind enough to realize that not everything that you're told or taught or shown or experience or think or see or feel is right. You have no idea. You have no idea what's going on. None. You literally, you have no idea what's going on. I've smoked so much DMT in the past couple of days. We have no idea what's going on. And I mean, especially kids. Kids don't fucking know. They know less than we do. And we don't know anything. So do you get it? Am I tying this together? Or do you enjoy this? Is this fun for you? I do love you though. So I went through, I got the light. That's why they shine a little light from a cell phone. And they use the flashlight app and a cell phone, and they shine at the stage. It's called Getting the Light. And I didn't know what it meant, but I was just like, and I'm done. And I got off stage, and the guy who ran the mic offered to buy me a shot. And I was like, no. I watch Dateline. I don't think so. And he's like, hey, just so you know, comedy is really fun and cool, but just be careful because there are a lot of really creepy guys that are doing this. And I was like, that's a fucking weird thing to say to a total stranger. I mean, come to find out 3 years later that he was actually warning me about the rampant oppression, sexism, and abuse that goes on in the comedy community and in general. But at the time, I was just kind of like, what the fuck are you on, bruh? And I didn't drink anything, and I left, and I walked home. That's how close I lived to the Gallery Cabaret. I walked home from my first open mic, and I just felt, I don't know. I don't want to say I felt alive because comedy doesn't make me feel alive. It does not fulfill me the way that some comics will say that it makes them feel like it's the only thing that makes them happy or the only thing that makes them feel alive, or they need it in order to subsist or survive or continue. I don't know. No. That was not my experience at all. Not even the first time. I did not get some kind of dopamine rush. I didn't get any endorphins. I wasn't profoundly changed. I wasn't so funny that I just blew the roof off of the house and was this savant who had, special abilities that made me better than everyone else. I just thought, that was something to do. That was a way to spend my evening that wasn't being cooped up at home, smoking weed by myself, watching Vice News, feeling depressed about the world. It was I laughed. I went outside. I walked around. I think I smoked a cigarette. I felt. I don't know what I felt, but I did feel. And that moment was powerful. And I was like, okay, I guess here is the precipice where I step into the next part of my life and season and identity. And it was something that I kind of always thought that I would do. Before I even jumped, I was just like all those fucking pussies who were like, yeah, I could do comedy. I'm funny. I even had a few jokes in my phone, in my little notes folder. I did. I had a few. I didn't use any of them, but they were there, And then that's how it started. And then I went to more open mics, and I'll get into that next time and just kind of, we'll get into the whole journey of it all. Because I am back, baby. And I am going to be better about uploading more consistently. I know that I've lost so many people. So many people have stopped listening. And I get it. I don't know. I'm even mad, about it. Like, fuck, dude. I don't know if I could sit through this, to be honest. If it was someone else, I don't know if I could sit through this. So, like, you listening right now are a very special person because I don't even know if I have what you have. Like, I don't know if I have what it takes to go through what you've been through, having to hear me go through what I've been through. Ja feel? I am back on Instagram. I am back on Facebook. You can reach out to me. If you want to do DMT and you live in Chicago, please hit me up. I would love to share this experience with you. I do feel like it is my sacred duty to wake people up and heal and, protect you. I want to protect you because I want you to protect yourself, because I want you to be happy, because I want children to be safe, because I think puppies are cool. And I think babies make my heart feel like they're full of champagne. And I don't know, does that, are we all here? I'm fine. Seriously, I'm fine. Okay, see, I just lied. I'm not fine. I'm actually not fine, but I'm doing better than I have in like a year. A year ago from now, I was doing real bad, really bad. And now it's like a year later and I almost, like truly almost just killed myself. But I'm doing better. Oh man, I don't know, dude. Fuck, this is cool. Are we having fun yet? 10 points to Gryffindor to anyone who can message me and tell me what that reference was. I love you guys. I'm coming back. It works if you work it. Just keep coming back. And I'll do the same. And I think you're real cool. What else should I say? Comedy's coming back in Chicago. Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. Comedy is dead to me. Actually, here's what I really think. I think that fame and fortune are inherently evil things. And if you try to seek them out, you will become corrupted of your mind, your body, and your spirit. And it's important that we do our best to have a pure heart and act from a place of love. I destroyed a relationship recently that I really cared about because I acted from a place of fear, and I can't take it back. I can't. And like, he blocked me. He blocked me. That's how it all ends. It always ends like that. They just block me because I get afraid, because we are afraid, because it is scary, because life is hard. And it's like, who is going to love you anyways? Nobody, babe. Nobody, just you. You got to love you anyways. I'm saying that to me, but I'm saying it to you. Do you hear me? Like, I'm saying it to me though, but like, I'm also saying it to you. Like, you got to love you, because no one else is going to love you anyways. Even one of my best fucking friends recently, like, I haven't seen this bitch in a year. Like, she got mad about something on my Instagram and just like never said anything to me about it. And then I come to realize that like someone who used to let me sleep on her floor when I had nowhere to go, who's always been there for me no matter what, was like, not a part of my life anymore. And we had a really long talk last night and kind of like hashed things out, but like that hurts, It hurts that like these relationships, these experiences, these trials and tribulations that you go through in your life, like it hurts when they happen. It hurts when they end. It hurts when new things start. It hurts when new things end. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. And it's all a gift. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift. And when you die, they will apologize to you. I promise. I love you so much. Okay. All right. Okay. Next. And I'll see you next week. Okay. I am okay. Maybe not fine, but I'm okay.